What up? This is Robert Ory.
Ory, three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Ory for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Ory from downtown.
Bonus show. It is the Friday bonus. It's called the Shoot-Around. That is B-Dog Brandon Harper. My name is Rob Jenners. That's seven-time NBA champion and WNBA advocate, Robert Ory. If you ever have anything for the Shoot-Around, questions, whatever you want to ask Rob, stuff for us, nonsense, fun stuff, whatever, at Big Shot Bob Pod, pretty much all over the place. This first little bit came up, actually kind of well-timed off of last week's show. Tracy McGrady's name came up on last week's show. I did have this little bit of audio from Tracy McGrady. This is, I guess he does, I don't know if he does a podcast or...
Yeah, he does.
All right, so he does his own podcast. This is him talking about Steph Curry. His producer asked him, do you think Steph Curry is a top 5 NBA player?
Stephen Curry is a top 5 NBA player of all time.
No, he tripping on that. He hasn't cracked my top 10 yet. He just hasn't. I think Steph has had a phenomenal career. I mean, obviously 4 championships, 2 league MVPs. He has a final MVP. But if you go back in his career, and if you look at when Draymond is out of the lineup for the season, if you look at Klay Thompson has missed the season or half of that season, to me, if you're that great, if you're going to be a top 5 and one of your guys are missing, you can't make the playoffs, I can't put you in top 5 or top 10. I just can't.
So Steph's not a top 5, let alone a top 10 NBA player of all time.
Well, he's not a top. I don't have him in my top 5 either.
Okay.
Me either. But I think where Tracy went off rails with that statement, because he was right until he said when your guys are injured, you don't make the playoff. Do you see the trash he had over there? I'm like, I don't give a damn. MJ could have made the fucking finals with that trash, and I take that back. I shouldn't call them trash, but they don't have everybody else around the league was better than those guys, the guys he had on that team. So top 10. I don't know. I have to really sit down and write down I know he's not in my top 6, so he's a hell of a player. But my top 10, if you put my list of top 10, every one of my top 10 players are going to be players who have been defensive all-team, all-NBA at the same year. It's not going to be a guy that doesn't make the all-defensive team, because I'm a true believer of you got to play fucking both ends of the court.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have to really sit down and map out when we start talking about like 6 through 10.
Yeah.
But look, Steph is. I think there are certain guys, there are certain people who have certain titles that are in people's top 10, and there are certain guys that hold certain titles that may not be. Like, we know Steph to be the greatest shooter of all time. Now, where we have him ranked depends on who you're talking to. And we understand that he changed the dynamic of the league. But, I think it's tough. It's tough. Look, we know, look, McGrady says he's not in his top 10. Okay, cool. But I'm not going to knock him for that, because if I sat down and I really mapped out 6 through 10, I would have to really start thinking, okay, who's in over him? Who would I put over? Who would I put Steph over? Who's over Steph? And stuff like that. I don't know, but he's not in my top 5.
To me, I try not to qualify any of that stuff until someone's career is over.
Right.
The dude's still playing. Now I don't know what Steph's got left in the tank now. I mean, he's been doing this for a minute, but when his career is over, okay, then let's look at his whole body of work. Mm-hmm. But I think the only thing that would lean me to being in my top 10 would be, to your point, the league changed because of Steph Curry, because of the way he played and the style of basketball he played. The style of play around the league changed almost entirely,
right.
And he's a humongous part of that. So when you can affect the game like that, okay. At least there's merit to be in the conversation of a top 10. Question from Kevin. Rob, what is the locker room like after a huge series win like the conference finals? We talked about this last week, I love that Michael Finley casually stole Luka's beer while they were hanging out, talking to Luka's dad. And the beer slight was very slick. So talk to us, Rob. What is the scene like in the locker room after like a conference finals win?
Well, you got to understand, I played in a different era. We just went home because, now they give trophies for winning conference era. I remember when we first won one in L.A., we're like, what the fuck is this shit? Because I think back in 2000, maybe 2 or 3, when they first started giving that little trophy for winning the West or the East.
But like you guys didn't hang out and celebrate at least afterward?
No.
There wasn't champagne or any of that stuff? Or going to the finals?
No, because it's
beers?
like job's not done. It's like you still got one more series to win, and then you celebrate.
I'm surprised.
So that's why I understand baseball.
Oh no, you win the pennant, you win the division, you celebrate. You win the wild card, you celebrate. Yeah.
Celebration is for when the job is done and you've won it all, and you ain't won shit yet. And so for the celebration like that, it was like, no, it's business as usual for us. I've never been on a team like, you won it. Let's move on. Let's get ready for the finals.
So y'all came in like Lakers. You win the 2002 Western Conference Finals. Y'all come in, you unlace your shoes, you pack your bag, you slap each other on the ass, and you leave?
We talk about when we're going to practice, go home, watch film, get some rest, get off your feet, and then come back in 2 days later and let's get ready for the next opponent. It's no celebration, dude. Hey, I tell you, this new era of people, they want to be celebrated for everything. Think about it. We got a graduation from kindergarten. We got a graduation.
I just went to a 5th grade graduation.
I'm like, what the fuck is that shit, man? Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand that, man. 5th grade graduation.
You're right, though, because when I think about it, the only graduation we had growing up was high school. That was it.
Exactly.
You graduated from high school, your family showed up.
Yeah.
Everything else is like, congratulations, you're not stupid enough to be held back. You get to move forward. Good job. You know what I mean? Get it together. Yeah. American Gladiators is back.
Is it?
It was announced this week that Amazon is going to reboot American Gladiators, the OG American Gladiators, like Nitro and Papyrus, and I don't know what the hell their names. They all had stupid-ass names, all the gladiators. Is there another show that you think deserves a reboot? A show you'd like to see come back from your childhood?
Oh, shit.
Anything.
Most of the shows from my childhood, everybody dead.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I wouldn't mind I think they tried to do it once and it failed, but I wouldn't mind a good A-Team reboot.
I think they did the movie,
but the movie was like, I don't know.
I like the movie.
Really? Yeah. I mean, I guess because I grew up with the
Rampage?
series. Mm-hmm. Rampage? Yeah, they did that. That's right. They made a Rampage movie with The Rock.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to...
No. Rampage played Mr. T.
Yeah. No, but they did do a Rampage movie, the old video game, which was really out there.
Yeah. It's so weird. I just think there's a lot of shows that I watch, like Boston Legal. You should do a new Boston Legal because I love the,
James Spader?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, James.
I did not peg you for a Boston Legal guy.
Yes, I love Boston Legal.
Wow, I didn't peg that. Okay.
Certain shows
like a lot of the
that,
stuff when we were kids, they've brought G.I. Joe back, sort of. They've brought Transformers back. There's an Transformers movie. Yeah, X-Men's back. X-Men '97. We got the animated X-Men show. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind Thundercats. Whatever happened to Thundercats, man?
I know.
Thundercats were cool.
Yeah, it's nothing that I can really think about. But I know there's a couple of shows that have been canceled. One in particular that I'm upset that's got canceled.
What's that?
So Help Me Todd. I love that show.
Did you really? Okay, Shannon liked that show. I never watched it.
Yeah.
They were like it was like a PI or something, wasn't he? A private investigator
he was
or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you fell in love with him from Pitch Perfect, and then he moved on to that other show where I can't think of her name, where she could hear people singing thoughts and stuff.
I don't know. You lost me on that one. Yeah.
I lost you on that.
I do know it was the guy from Pitch Perfect, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And they canceled that show?
Yeah, it's not coming back for a third season.
Okay.
Interesting.
I just caught up on the Lord of the Rings show, which I never watched.
Yeah.
The Rings of Power. That was pretty well done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very it felt very much like the movies. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan,
I want to know.
It was kind of on the scale of the movies, which I was surprised by because I was like,
when did that come out?
Oh, last year.
Did I see that?
I think it's 8 episodes.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's really like the scale of it is huge.
It's really good. Yeah.
And I enjoyed the hell out of it.
What is it on?
It's on Amazon.
I'm trying to see if I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go because I can't believe I missed that.
No, it was good. If you like Lord of the Rings, it was really good.
Okay.
Question from Tito. Rob, how much of the Olympics will you watch? Obviously basketball, but what else do you like? Or do you just keep an eye on the medal count?
I don't even watch basketball.
You don't watch Olympic basketball?
No, I'm straight track and field, and I'm straight swimming. Those are my two.
Swimming?
Yes, I love swimming.
It just interests you, or what? Like, was it the Michael Phelps days, or no?
No, it goes way back to Greg Louganis and all this kind of stuff. I like the diving. I like track and field is number one, but then comes swimming.
We haven't had a good track star out of the U.S. in a long time.
We got what's the young lady who didn't make it last year?
Oh, damn it. I can't remember her name. I know who you're talking about. The girl with she got the kind of wild hair. Yeah. I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
But I'm like Ricky Byer. I like to see people go fast.
Yeah.
And those people, man.
I want to go fast.
Track athletes, man. I love watching them.
Okay. Hart, but you watch the Olympics? Pay attention?
Yeah. I'll watch track and field, especially the 100-meter. Obviously basketball. I'll try to just watch randoms. Like, I'll turn to it, and if something's on, it's not that I'm really looking for anything, but if something looks interesting, I'll be like, oh, that's different. Let me check this out.
Breakdancing. Is breakdancing in this year's or is it next year?
Yes, it is. No, it is this year.
That should be interesting.
This year it's going to be.
I want to watch that.
That's going to be cool as shit. Yeah. I don't know why. I always thought gymnastics was pretty cool.
Oh,
just because those, I mean, those girls are so small, and they just are like, pew, they just flip and they go flying off the mats and stuff. It's wild.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna beat Simone.
No. I'm anxious to see how she does. She's back this year, right? She's gonna compete.
Yeah, she's back. She just won something the other day.
All right. Yeah, very interesting.
But think about how old is she?
She's got to be in her mid-late 20s by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's funny how she's considered an old vet.
Because this would be her third Olympics, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, interesting.
It was Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. You have to watch that if you like singing. That was the show.
Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I've heard of the show. I never watched 2 seconds of it. Okay. Call back to a previous question. Question from Frank. Rob, did you ever remain celibate during the season or during a series to try to keep your focus? Lenny Kravitz said this week he's been doing it for 9 years. Here's the context of the question. I went and looked this up. This was learned by TMZ this week. Lenny Kravitz told TMZ he has not been in a serious relationship for 9 years, and he is since remaining celibate until he finds the right woman. He says, quote, it's a spiritual thing.
So he hadn't had
Lenny
sex for 9 years?
Who was arguably, as far as like male sex symbols type go, he's up there, right? I mean, 9 years.
Not as sexy as the three of us,
years.
But all right.
And says he's who?
The three of us, but all right.
Well, I think he's got my ass whooped, that's for sure. I ain't got and none of the cool appeal that Lenny Kravitz has.
I do like during the playoffs. It depends on how many days. I give myself 48 hours. If I have a game within a 48-hour period, I wouldn't have sex.
Okay. I know some people, it's like a thing. Like some people have to, and then some people refuse to. Like it's just, I've heard such opposite ends of that spectrum. Yeah. Some people are like, I got to do it. I got to get out of my head.
I told you the story with Shaq when I walk up to him at the free throw line. I'll be like, you fucked last night. He's like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. I can tell by how fucking hard you sweating right now. It's the first fucking quarter.
It's dripping off him. Shut up.
Oh, man.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay, interesting. NFL news quickly, and then we got one more conversation point. We'll wrap it up. Justin Jefferson got broke off this week.
That he did.
4 years, $140 million deal with the Minnesota Vikings. He signed that on Monday. The richest contract for a non-quarterback in NFL history. Now, the funny thing about that is 4 years and $140 million is Jordan Poole's contract with the fucking Wizards. So, NBA money, NFL money.
Scale is crazy.
It's still leaning heavy NBA. You're making what Jordan Poole makes. Congratulations. He's due $88.7 million at signing, $110 million guaranteed. But he's got to do it now without a quarterback. His quarterback is Sam Darnold at the moment.
Well,
because it was Kirk Cousins the last few years. Well, he's in Atlanta.
It's now, the starting quarterback is Drake May, who they just drafted.
Right, but will he be starting is the question.
He will eventually.
Yeah.
Because them quarterbacks they got right there, you don't draft a quarterback 10 overall and him not see the field hold on, never mind.
I was going to say, that's not true.
Wait a minute, Michael Penix Jr. Hold on, hold the vote.
But the Falcons are a different case because
they're the Falcons.
Well, that and because the Vikings didn't go spend $100 million
on
another quarterback.
No, they didn't. Yeah,
They
they signed Sam Darnold to a 1-year deal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always weird how you think about. Let's go back to the Packers when they had Brett Favre at the helm and they drafted Aaron Rodgers. Let's go to the San Francisco front. They had Montana and they drafted
Steve Young.
Why nobody complain back then? It's nothing wrong with having a quarterback that's fucking good.
They're not the same situations.
They're totally different.
How's it totally different?
Because on
Brett
one
Favre
end,
won a championship. Montana won a championship.
On one end, Aaron Rodgers was a first-round pick, but he dropped to like 22. Where you're drafted makes a difference.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
A player is a player.
I'll even pull that back. The Niners and the Packers were championship teams with championship quarterbacks who knew their championship quarterbacks were starting to get old.
Right.
And drafted a quarterback to come in and learn from this man who's won 2, 3 Super Bowls already with the team currently constructed. Atlanta went off and signed Kirk Cousins to a 4-year, $100 million deal, and then immediately drafted the guy underneath him that's going to take his place. Dude hadn't even put on a uniform yet, and they got his replacement on the field.
Well, you just proved my point there. You just call those guys
Kirk
old.
Cousins ain't won a championship, though.
But
the Falcons are not a championship team. They got a million holes.
It doesn't matter about the championship. It's about the quality of the player and the player that's coming in and the quality of the player is at that position right now. Kirk Cousins is one hit away from being out, then you fucking screwed.
No, agreed. But the Falcons, then you don't spend the money on him. Then you go draft Penix, you take all that money, you go buy yourself a defensive line or something.
Penix. Now, who is Penix backup? I'd rather have 2 qualified quarterbacks than sit there without a quarterback.
That's fine.
That's great. You got you got no O-line.
Go get Russell Wilson.
He can't go nowhere.
Huh?
He's stuck in
Denver.
No,
he's not in Denver.
He's stuck in Pittsburgh.
Before Pittsburgh got him, you could have gone and get Russell Wilson. You didn't have to spend $100 million, and you could have still taken Michael Penix at number 8. So you don't have a quarterback that's making $45 million, and you don't take a quarterback at number 8 that's not have to sit for 2 years.
Y'all only feel this way because it's your team.
But we're here.
You're right. You're right. I have no rooting interest in the Falcons. It's okay for that. But we also, because we're in Atlanta, hear about all the deficiencies of the team. We know that it's like, oh, you really need some guys up front on the offensive line. You really need a couple of defensive players. Like you have big issues that have to be addressed on this team. So if either draft Penix and spend your money wisely somewhere else, or spend your money on Cousins and go draft a piece to fit one of the many holes you have. But spending money and draft picks on the same position doesn't do a damn thing to help the rest of your team.
I understand what you're saying, but still, it's like, ain't nothing wrong with having a fucking good backup.
No, that's true, but you don't know how. You don't know. I mean, I love Michael Penix. I loved him when he was at Washington.
Yeah, but when's he
going
to see the field? If, say, Kirk Cousins is healthy for the next 2 seasons.
I guarantee you Kirk Cousins has a clause in that contract where he can't come back. I guarantee, because no one's going to spend that type of money. I know Kurt has been very fucking fortunate in his career of getting all those great contracts, but I guarantee you, I hope that Falcons aren't that dumb where they give all that money and they don't have some type of clause that says you need to fucking come back and be 100.
Can I promise you something? You're going to lose any argument that's prefaced on the idea of I hope the Falcons aren't that dumb. Because God bless this team. I've been here 16 years, 17 years this year. I've seen this team do the dumbest shit of any NFL team I've ever followed or paid attention to. They just consistently shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over and over and over. It's wild. They're borderline Cowboys. It's just bananas over here. All right, last thing. I like Clutch Points. I think Clutch Points does a really good job with their NBA content. They put up this debate. People got hot over it, so I was going to let you guys get hot over it. Okay, of these 3 players, who's the best in the NBA right now? Giannis, Luka, or Joker? Who's the best of those 3 right now?
When healthy, hold on.
Who's the best? Luka, Giannis or Joker?
When healthy, it's hard for me to go against Giannis. But
I'm taking Luka. Point blank. Luka.
Is this recency bias?
He's been pretty damn good the last several years. It's not like this isn't like a new thing.
I think I look at the way he's coming to this season.
Mm-hmm.
He's been coming into a couple of seasons pudgy, a little fluffy, and I think he's starting to take it serious.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm taking Luka, and I just think for overall, even though Jokic is my second choice, and Giannis is my last, but I just think the fact that how those two guys make everyone around them better, as far as assists, rebounding, don't give a shit about who shoots the ball, and I those are my first two.
Okay,
I hear you. I think I'm not taking anything away from Giannis and Joker because I think they're absolutely amazing. I think because
all three of them are amazing players. That's sort of the debate. If you had to pick one of the three,
I'm taking the non-MVP, the one who hasn't won the MVP yet.
I think because Giannis has kind of been hurt lately, I think people, I don't want to say forget, but when Giannis is healthy.
That's a fair thing to say, though.
He's
been out of the spotlight for a minute.
Yeah, and then we've always talked about Giannis as being a guy who, as dominant as he's been, there are still aspects of his game that he can still work on. He can still work on being a better shooter.
Mechanics are awful. Ain't gonna help.
I understand that, but we always said we always said, dang, if he got a consistent, not even a 3-point shot, but just a consistent jump shot, how much more dangerous he would be.
How about let's just start at the free throw line? Let's say if he can be a better free throw shooter.
Maybe, yeah, true.
I like, and I lean toward Giannis, but I've really, and this is definitely recency bias for me.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed watching Luka in this postseason probably more than. Anthony Edwards and Luka are the two guys this postseason that I've just enjoyed the hell out of watching.
Yeah.
And I like the way I just love the attitude he brings. I love the way he plays. I love the enthusiasm, the smiles. He's fiery when he's pissed. He's got fire in his belly when he's angry. Ant-Man had a lot of that this year, and I think that just watching him sort of attack the postseason this year has been cool and a lot of fun. I think overall, all the tools combined, I would rather probably have Giannis at full health. But I've really enjoyed Luka this year.
I love Luka. But sometimes I think Luka, even though there are shots that he actually make, and I literally witnessed him have his career high of 73 in State Farm Arena, so I know how great he is. But I see him a lot of times take bad shots. And I'm like, and I know it's a shot that he can make, but certain shots I'm like.
So that's not a bad shot.
No, I get it, but I guess sometimes it's within the flow of the offense. Like, dog, you didn't have to take that shot.
Right, pulling up with 12
seconds
left on the clock.
That
just
shot.
To take it.
It's one thing I know you can knock it down, but there are certain shots that are bad sometimes within the realm of the shot clock and in the realm of the offense.
I say this: what star player in the league that doesn't take a bad shot?
No, I do, but he takes a lot of bad shots.
Yeah, Giannis takes a lot of bad shots, in my opinion, too. He comes down, pull up, so that fucking three, that ain't in your wheelhouse.
Well,
bro.
that's not necessary.
But when Giannis go to that basket, you tell me who in the league stopping him.
Jokic, maybe.
Shit, Jokic get out the way too. Shit, he get out the way too.
I don't know.
Hey, when you hear that train coming down the track, you ain't got no option but to get off.
No, you just get on a horse. I have horses. I'm good.